Hi, I'm Hans Bekaert, the sales specialist for Microsoft Surface here at Ingram Micro. And what I have here is something very special. It's really the crown jewel of the Surface Pro lineup, and it's the brand new Surface Pro 8. So, without further ado, let's dig in. So you can see the commercial packaging here again, designed with the planet in mind, easily recyclable. You have the device itself here in its nice soft jacket. It is indeed the Surface Pro 8. You have a little booklet inside here with some basic instructions. And then you have the charger also in the box, the quick charger. So let's get rid of this. What I also have is the Microsoft Surface Pro signature keyboard with Slim Pen 2. So also in the commercial packaging, you can see it's in the nice platinum color. So let's get this device out of its jacket here. And maybe let's have a little talk about the history of Surface Pro, because this one is definitely a significant redesign and one of the first big overall designs since 2015. If you still remember, Surface Pro 3 all the way up 4, 5, 6, 7 and 7 Plus all shared a similar casing. This is the first time that they really revamped the casing. You can definitely see some modern bezels on this one here. Now, another one to mention in this evolution is the Surface Pro X, which looks almost indistinguishable from this one, apart from the fact that it's just a tiny bit thinner. Now, with the Surface Pro 8, the best of those both worlds have come together, because Surface Pro X, which was launched back in 2019, was running on the ARM platform, not on the Intel platform. So it had some limitations, let's say, in magnitude of the apps that you could install on it. That were compatible, some drivers, but now with the Intel platform in this sleek design, inspired by that Pro X, you really have the best of both worlds. So let's talk about the form factor. So if you're not so familiar with the Surface Pro lineup, this is one of the most versatile Surface devices on the market, and I really love it. I've been a fan since day one. So you can use it in a laptop mode, just like this. You can take it with you. The screen is protected. You can use it in a tablet mode. The keyboard just pops off like this. You could use it like this, or if you're reading or writing something, it will also adjust to be using it like this. And thanks to this very dynamic hinge, you can actually go ahead and fold it down all the way into a studio mode, which is ideal for a writing or drawing scenario. Now, the display, we have a 13-inch display, which is almost 1 inch bigger than the previous Pro generations. We still have that Surface signature aspect ratio 3:2 for productivity, with more pixels vertically. For the first time here, together with the Laptop Studio, we have a 120 Hertz screen, which really helps for the fluidity of the OS. I think especially Windows 11 looks beautiful, feels beautiful, very snappy and fluid on this 120 Hertz screen. It's 400 nits of brightness, so really for the mobile professional, you can use it outdoors, you can use it in well-lit office spaces with a lot of windows. It's great. You can see those thin bezels that they inherited from the Surface Pro X, let's say, but you might think, now, why are there bezels? The bezels are a bit thicker on the bottom and on the top there. Now, this is also because when you're using it in a tablet mode, as I'm holding it right now, you do need some bezel to be able to hold it with your thumbs and not to be able to accidentally touch the touchscreen here. And what is beautiful about the design, if you click the keyboard and then you set it in a way that is more ergonomical, this the bottom bezel actually disappears completely. Now, the top bezel, of course, it also houses the camera components. So about the look and feel, it's really a premium device. It has an awesome build quality. It has an aluminum casing, this one. So on the graphite color, this will cause for less fingerprint than before with the magnesium. Now, in terms of cooling, they have made some different decisions here. So previously you could get a Core i5 Surface Pro device without an active cooling, which was very nice. If you use it for low intensity purposes, you have a very completely silent, passive cooled device. Now, what we could see, or what Microsoft also could see in usage with all the remote working that has been happening the last 2 years, Teams is quite an intensive app. All the video conferencing apps, they are all quite intensive. And those devices were starting to heat up a lot. And especially in some office environments where there's not a lot of air circulation, they heated up to the point where the CPU would start throttling, and then you of course lose the performance of the device. With Pro 8 they solved that with putting in the active cooling, even with the i5, also of course with the i7 models, and it's really modest. It only kicks in where it really needs to, but the most important point there is it can kick in when it needs to be able to provide you with that fluent, uninterrupted Windows 10 or 11 experience without throttling. Now, in terms of the connections, we have 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports here. It really gives you a lot of options in terms of docking. You can use many different docks on it. You can charge with it. You have, of course, advanced transfer speeds thanks to it, and you could even hook up an external GPU to a thin device like that. So really cool to see that. You have a power button here. You have the Surface Connect, which you can use to charge the device, also with a charger that is delivered in the box, and also for docking with the Surface Dock 2, of course. On the other side you have your volume rocker and also the 3.5 millimeter audio jack right here, if you still have some decent analog devices that you would like to hook up to this. Then one thing that I really love about the device is the kickstand. It's always been one of my favorite features of the Surface Pro lineup, and I'll tell you why. As you can see, the way I'm holding it here right now, it provides with some solid grip. It's really solid. It's not going to come off. In all the years that I've been working with Surface, I have never had a customer or an end user coming back with a broken kickstand. They are really made in a very solid way, and they provide you with a lot of options when using the device. Holding it like this, say you're in a car. I've been in a situation where I've even put this on a steering wheel and been working like this, of course not when I'm driving, but also if you want to use it in more of what I would also call a breakfast mode. Let's say you're eating your breakfast like this, you detach the keyboard, and if there are crumbs or any liquids, it cannot do any harm, because this is one solid sheet of glass, of course. Now, about the keyboard. So the new Pro keyboard is made from carbon fiber, so it's definitely a lot stiffer than the previous one, which gives it a more solid feel. It also has backlit keys here, and I think, in my opinion, this is definitely the best detachable keyboard available on the market today. It's available in different colors. It's a platinum, you have graphite, which is black, ice blue, and poppy red. All those colors, by the way, as you can hear in the names, they are inspired by nature, which I really like. Now, a very important thing for you as a reseller to know, and maybe as a customer as well, that these type covers, these keyboards, are not compatible with the previous generation of the Surface Pro devices. They are, however, compatible with Pro X, because they share the same form factor, but not backwards compatible with the previous generations. Also the other way around, the type covers from the Surface Pro 7 Plus and before, they will not work on this, so make sure you order the right one here. So I have here the bundle with the Slim Pen 2. What is very nifty about this, if you have never seen this with the Pro X, if you use it like this, it's very close to the screen, but if you need your pen, you just pop it out. The pen is right there. It's super convenient. Here you can see the mechanism of the software and the hardware really working well together. You can immediately pop open your whiteboard here and start drawing. And here something really magical happens. You can feel that haptic motor, you can feel that feedback in your hand, really to simulate paper. Now, about the cameras, you have a Windows Hello camera here, an infrared camera that you can use to authenticate securely on the device without typing your password every time. It's one of the must-have features, I would say, in a modern device. The rear camera is really surprisingly good. It has a 10 megapixel rear camera, and it even shoots 4K video. So for example, if you are, a use scenario could be you're a builder or an inspector, you're going to a building site, you can take very high quality pictures and videos of the building site. You could write directly, annotate on the video or the photos and send it to your colleagues in order to visually communicate that something is wrong in the building, for example. Really, really nice workflow you could have there. Then the front-facing camera, of course, it's very high quality as well. It's a 5 megapixel camera here. It shoots at 1080p, great for Teams calls, and it has dual far-field studio mics to capture that human voice as good as possible. The speakers, of course, this is a very thin and light device. You're not going to get a whole lot of bass out of this, but it does feature two front-facing Dolby Atmos speakers on the sides here, and I have to say that it's a very crisp and clear sound, and it really also gives you some spatial features thanks to that Dolby Atmos. Now for the pricing and the configurations, the Pro 8 starts at $1179 end user. For this you get the i3 8 gigs 128. Now the i3, I would think more for maybe non-profit or education customers. It can be handy at that price point. But for commercial use, I would more recommend the i7 model or the i5 model. And that one goes all the way up to 2,919 end user. And then you get an i7 32 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte SSD. The graphics, they are the integrated graphics from Intel, so the Intel Iris Xe, and they really give a big performance boost when you compare it to the previous generation. There are in commercial devices LTE options available now all the way up to the i7 16 gig 256, and it does feature a removable SSD just like the Pro X. You can very easily take out this SSD here. It's an M.2 half size. You can just pinch something in there and then the SSD is ready to be exchanged or backed up. And with the LTE devices, this is also the place where they would have the SIM card slot. The battery, it's a 51.5 watt hour battery, which can give you up to 16 hours of battery life. So that's a whole day of work and a whole evening of Netflix if you want. So in conclusion, I think this form factor, this 2-in-1 form factor, it's still very popular. You can see OEMs and other companies trying this. Many have tried it, but I would say the Pro 8 is definitely the best 2-in-1 device on the market. That being said, you can order it right now for your customers at Ingram Micro. It's live on our website. We have stock. As a Surface reseller, you can get demo units for yourself at 50% off, so definitely look into that. You can reach us on our mailbox surface.be@ingrammicro.com for product questions. If you have any projects or opportunities you'd like to discuss with us, we have a brand new Surface website that you can reach through bit.ly/imsurface, where you can see the whole Surface portfolio, all our pricings available for Surface, the current promotions, how to become a Surface partner, and how to get in contact with our team. Now, to finish up, I would like you to like this video if you found the content interesting, share it with your colleagues and friends, and lastly, a big thanks to Microsoft for sending us this device. See you on the next one.